Call of Duty World at War. This game came out almost 15 years ago. There had already been several Call of Duty World War II games that had come out before this game came out. And since then, there's been this game and this game. But for many Call of Duty fans, this was the absolute best. Back in the day, I had rented this game from the local Blockbuster, and I had to play it on the Nintendo Wii. I booted up the Wii, inserted the disc, and was ready to rock and roll. And right off the bat, you could tell that this Call of Duty was going to be different than the other World War II Call of Duties that had come before. Even the animation at the beginning of each level of the campaign looked so cool. The campaign is broken up into two different storylines where you follow Private Miller and the Americans, and
Dmitri Petrenko
and the Russians. The first level starts off where you're being held hostage, but you get rescued by your fellow Americans.
Miller, you're okay. Thank God.
Wait, that voice sounds familiar. Could it be?
Oh, that's Jack Bauer. That's Jack Bauer!
I wonder if we'll get to hear his signature catchphrase.
Tell me where the bomb is. Tell me where the bomb is, or I will kill Assad. Talk to me. Tell me where the bomb is. Tell me where the bomb is!
Anyway, the American story takes place in the Pacific Theater, which the previous Call of Duties hadn't ever done before. The two storylines almost feel like completely different games at times. On the Russian side, it feels dark and gritty, and on the American side, it focuses more on a unique gameplay where you're going up against an enemy that's going to try all sorts of tomfoolery and shenanigans to take you out. Take a look at this right here. They booby-trap this plane and then ambush you. They'll hide in the grass and ambush you too. They'll play dead and ambush you.
Ambush! Boom! Boom!
But you do get a flamethrower, which makes it nice when they hide up in trees like this. On the other hand, you have the very first mission of the Russian campaign, which takes place in the aftermath of the Battle of Stalingrad, which was the most deadly battle in the history of any wars ever. Millions of people died during this battle, and right off the bat, the music makes it feel like something terrible has just happened. You start out basically playing dead and waiting for the patrol to pass you by. As you start crawling through, you realize that you're not the only one that's still alive. This is where Dmitri meets Reznov for the first time. He explains to you that the person behind this massacre is this guy right here. As you play this part of the campaign, you may realize that Reznov's voice also sounds familiar.
This place once echoed with conversations of friends and lovers. No longer.
That's because he's Sirius Black and...
Commissioner Gordon.
At this point here in the level, he foreshadows the rest of the Russian campaign.
Mark my words, comrade. One day things will change. We will take the fight to their land, to their people, to their blood.
I think that this level is probably one of the best missions in any Call of Duty campaign. There's a lot of variety here. You get to be stealthy. You get in a shootout with another sniper. You get to blow up some flamethrowers. I mean, what more could you ask for?
Excellent aim, Dmitri!
And eventually you get the chance to take out the general. And if you really want to be fancy, you can take him out with a pistol for a nice little achievement. As the Russian part of the campaign continues, you're introduced to this guy.
Chernov! I am not hearing gunshots!
There is no point, Sergeant. They are already bleeding to death.
Once again.
The relationship between these two kind of reminds me of the relationship between Michael Scott and Toby.
Is that enough? Should I keep going?
Why are you the way that you are?
The reason that I say that is because as the campaign progresses, the Russians become more and more brutal, And Chernov is really the only one that keeps things grounded and isn't just completely bloodthirsty the whole time.
No one will ever read this! If you lack the stomach to kill for your country, at least show me that you are willing to die for it!
On the other hand, Reznov loves Dmitri.
Do you hear me? They flooded their own metro in an effort to kill us, Dmitri. But once again, they failed. Once more, we cheat death. You will be okay. Relax for a few minutes. Breathe deeply.
Towards the end of the campaign, in spite of your best efforts, Chernov absolutely gets roasted by this flamethrower. Reznov gives Dmitri Chernov's journal, and what's written in Chernov's journal depends on how you handle this part of the campaign. If you killed surrendering Germans, this will be the outcome.
April 30th, 1945. When he first spoke of Dmitri, Reznov told tales of a hero, someone we should all aspire to be like. His merciless brutality defines him only as a savage, just like the rest of the Red Army. He is no hero.
On the other hand, if you show more mercy by not shooting them and watching them get burnt to a crisp, in Chernov's eyes that will make you more of a hero.
April 30th, 1945. When he first spoke of Dmitri, Reznov told tales of a hero, someone we should all aspire to be like. His bravery on the battlefield is beyond question, but he has also shown mercy amidst the brutality of the Red Army. He is indeed a hero.
And if you shoot only some of them, this will be the result.
He understands the nature of mercy killing.
April 30th, 1945. When he first spoke of Dmitri, Reznov told tales of a hero, someone we should all aspire to be like. At times, I have seen him show mercy, and at others act with complete brutality. I do not understand him. Perhaps heroes need not question their actions.
It's things like these that make the campaign so awesome. I think it's one of the top 3 campaigns in Call of Duty, and I've probably played this one the most out of any of them. There's some good variety in the campaign. I'm usually not a huge fan of levels where you're in a tank or an airplane, but in this campaign they actually do it really well. The guns in this game sound really good too. There's just something about that ping of the M1 Garand. Whew. Sniping also feels really good. It even feels like the classic Intervention. Another thing that sets this World War II game apart from the other World War II Call of Duty games is that this is the first one that was rated M, and so there's a lot of gore. This game also has some of the best music in the entire series.
Use that flamethrower! Shit, they've been spotted.
Moving on to the difficulty, this game is insane on veteran in terms of the grenade spam. It's almost become a meme at this point. Before revisiting this game, I had completed most of the campaign on veteran, but over the years, there's been one level in particular that has haunted my dreams. And that is the Heart of the Reich. For years it sat there, mocking me, taunting me. It had only been completed on regular. Ugh. So I just had to do something about it. If you play on veteran, you're gonna get killed by grenades, no question about it. It's bad on pretty much every level. But they really take it up a whole nother level here. I mean, just look at this. You really just gotta sweat it out and play slow and super cautiously. This right here is a good example of what not to do. After hours and hours and so many tries, I finally emerged victorious. This is probably the hardest Call of Duty campaign, but it felt so good to finally have it done. The last level of each of the storylines basically involve you capturing some buildings. That's a very simplified version of it, but anyway. The Russians take over the Reichstag, which this is what it looks like today. It's kinda neat. Reznov then praises you one last time, as the classic Russian music plays in the background.
As long as you live, the heart of this army can never be broken.
Things will change, my friend. As heroes, we will return to Russia's embrace.
Plus we've done.
The Americans take over a place called Shuri Castle as some classic World War II American music
Every
plays.
day was spent crawling through the mud and the dirt while bullets whistle all around. This is the enemy's last stand. When we take Shuri, we go home. All of us.
You finish the campaign with a new, profound sense of patriotism, and what's this? I'll never forget the first time that I played this, and it was actually on the Call of Duty Zombies app on the iTouch, since Zombies wasn't on the Wii. This map is super basic, and if you pay close enough attention during the campaign, you'll even see the building that this is based off of too. And there's really only 3 barriers that you can clear too. The map is pretty cramped, and so it makes it hard to actually train the zombies, and so the main strategy on this map is just to get upstairs, camp in the corner, and hopefully you can get a good gun, ideally the ray gun. The next map that was released was Verrückt, which took place in an asylum. And in my opinion, this map was even scarier than the first. There's just something eerie about an asylum. There was also a little bit more complexity with this map, where it added perks for the very first time, and in order to use those perks, you had to turn on the power. With these initial maps, they were still really replayable, even though there wasn't a whole lot to do like there are today, where there's a bunch of different quests that you gotta do. The third map that came out was Shinonuma, which takes place in Japan. This map didn't add any new perks or objectives, but it was the first map where you could actually go outside, and I think it could have been a lot better if they didn't have these swampy parts that you just get bogged down in and get absolutely destroyed in. I do like this concept and that this map takes place in Japan. And since it takes place in Japan, the Japanese zombies will actually come at you and act like they're holding a bayonet. It's a cool little detail. I love these first 3 maps, but the 4th one is my favorite and the favorite of a lot of other zombie players too. And that map is the beloved, critically acclaimed Der Riese. It was much easier to get to a higher round on this map, due to the map being less cramped and having the perks, and also the introduction of Pack-a-Punch. To use Pack-a-Punch, it wasn't very complicated. All you had to do was just link these portals here throughout the map. After linking the 3 portals, you would then be able to access this machine right here. Most of the zombies maps that came after this contain the exact same components with the perks, Pack-a-Punch, and enough space to run around in. Hopefully we'll get to see more maps like this when Black Ops 6 comes out. It's crazy to think how many zombies maps there have been over the years, and it all started here on World at War. Moving on to the multiplayer, we have something that's by no means perfect, but they did a quality job. Like I said before, I had this game on the Wii, and so I didn't get to experience the multiplayer on Xbox or PlayStation, but I was able to find a game pretty quickly, even in 2024. It felt great being able to go back and relive some memories. You can definitely tell that this game is a bit dated, but it still feels great. It is bare bones compared to new Call of Duties. There's no camo challenges, and there's no gunsmith, So unfortunately, you're not able to put a modern day thermal scope on it like you are with that one Call of Duty. There's only 3 kill streaks. There's the recon plane, the mortar strike, and attack dogs. And to get attack dogs, you only need 7 kills. And this was the last Call of Duty that limited you to those 3 set kill streaks. The guns for the most part were fairly balanced. However, it seemed like everyone used the MP40 with double tap and the extended mags. There were still other viable weapons that could compete with it, such as the sniper rifles like this one. I love this gun, and I was even able to do this.
Watch this.
A lot of these maps are classic maps that have gotten remakes over the years. They also doubled the amount of maps with DLC packs that later came out. Although 8 maps at launch can seem like a small amount, there's a good amount of variety with each of these maps. You had large maps like Cliffside, a couple small maps like Dome, and medium-sized maps like Asylum. All in all, I think that there's a good reason why people love this game even to this day. From the immersive campaign, to the revolutionary zombies mode, and a really fun multiplayer. I hope that this game gets a remaster, and I think it definitely deserves one, but what do you think? Thank you for watching.
And as always, have a nice day.